Hey, up next, we are meeting with two members of the CADA Leadership Camps staff, Bryan Speed and Melissa Edsall. You two were our camp directors last year as we did Power Up and our very first virtual camp that we thought was going to be our one and only. And turns out it's going to be the first of two virtual camps that we'll be doing. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Excellent, excellent. So start off, talk to me and tell our audience a little bit about what CADA Leadership Camps is and why you got involved.
Okay, so I can start. I was lucky. I got to go to CADA Leadership Camps as a kid. So I knew I loved it. And then my first year in education, I was lucky enough to work at camp, and I've been working at camp ever since. I love that camp is kind of this prep and this like exciting moment in the summer where you're just getting ready for the year, and we're trying at camp to kind of prepare you for anything that you might need to do in the school year. And so there's just so many opportunities for growth for kids.
Speed, how about you?
So I too got to go to leadership camps when I was in high school, and I just had an amazing experience just being able to connect with student leaders from all over the state and learn from, people from CADA, but also different speakers from all around. It was a really cool experience. And part of that is what inspired me to pursue a career in activities and become an activities director. I just love camp because you get to connect with people and you get to learn, and the students get to come in and they get to create the different events and things that happen at camp. So you get to learn like hands-on and firsthand and just have a really cool experience and make a ton of memories.
Awesome. I just realized that all three of us went to camp as students, and now coming back as adults, like that's such a testament to the program that was created back.
I had a pen pal back in the day before anything was technology, right? Like I had people, we wrote letters for years because of my friends I made in a week at CADA camp. So it's really cool.
Very cool. So last year we did our first virtual camp, and I pegged you two to be our camp directors, kind of the face. What was that experience like, and what was the virtual camp? How was that beneficial last year compared to like the normal year where we're on campus at UCSB or Santa Clara?
Well, I'll say when we went into shelter in place and we were staying at home, I struggled, like just the lack of seeing kids. I didn't have their energy, and I was just left the school year just kind of defeated. And so I was really looking forward to camp because I was hoping it was going to give me that same good, happy feeling that I always get at camp. And it did. Like it really made me feel ready for the school year. I didn't run a council, just being the director. I got to see so much and bring it to my own classroom. We've done rallies that I don't think we'd have done. And we've done lunchtime activities that I wouldn't have done had I not been at camp, and seeing what these kids could create in a few days virtually was really cool.
Very nice.
I have to agree with Melissa. Like when we first went on that shelter in place, it was just kind of like, what are we going to do moving forward? At that point in the year, it was like, okay, let's figure out graduation. Let's figure out how to get, the seniors through. But everybody else coming into the next school year, like we had no idea what it would look like. And I think having the opportunity to work, virtual camp, like you get to see firsthand, like, oh, these are platforms that you can use. These are structures that you can use to bring everything back to your school. And I think virtual camp was also a testament to those students and their creativity. If you give them these different avenues, like we were able to see what they could create and what they could bring to life. Like it was amazing just having that opportunity to work camp and see what students can do and give them the opportunities to do it.
Yeah, I do think it allowed me to be a little more flexible in the school year, knowing that giving them time to be creative, my kids have come up with like really cool things, but that all started with camp and seeing they just needed that support.
Yeah, I remember when we were talking about this in late spring about putting this virtual camp on, we were just like, oh, I was so scared because people were just sort of Zoom burned out, and it had only been like a couple of weeks at that point, and I was so scared. And then, everyone went on summer break and they had some time off, and then camp popped up, and I think it was so great because the students and the advisors that attended were burned out, yes, in the spring, but then they had that break, and then summer was the perfect time to kind of jump back in and kind of really examine what the future was going to look like. And we're looking at now another kind of different year moving forward. What would be your opinion on what the benefit of going to camp this summer, virtual camp this summer, what would be the benefit there for schools as we look to the 21-22 school year?
I would say,
go ahead.
You can go ahead.
No, go for it.
I would say like you have an opportunity to really reflect on this last year. We were all, for the most part, doing virtual learning. Like you have that opportunity to reflect, but then also look ahead. So like, how can we build? What can we do? How can we reimagine what we're gonna do moving forward? Hopefully we'll be able to come back in person. So at this camp, you'll have an opportunity to see, you know, what worked out virtually, but also like what you can do in a hybrid setting, what you can do to start building as we come back. Hopefully to full school. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but you'll be able to get ideas, and hopefully by then we have a better understanding of what next school year will look like.
Yeah, I still think like we're going to need virtual things to happen for a while. Like I can't imagine, I don't know, maybe we will get to all be in the gym together and having a regular rally, but I also think we need to prepare for what if we're not. And so we just need to look at all of those possibilities. And I think camp is that place where it's like this great melting pot of all these different minds and all these different people from all these different regions that have great ideas. And like everyone helps each other trying to come up with solutions for the future.
And we do, it's primarily a student training program, but we do have an advisor strand. And last year, the advisors that came together, like it was such a great support network, and they gleaned so many great ideas from each other. And I hear that from a number of people that attended, like what a saving grace that was over the summer, to be able to come together and really have honest conversations about the future and things that they could do and pull some great ideas. So big reveal here. Our theme for this summer is the leadership renovation. Ooh. So we're going to be, looking at how do we kind of take those bare bones of our leadership programs on our campus and build them up again, as it's just been such a crazy year and a half. So we're looking forward to that. July 12th through the 16th, and registration opening as of March 1st. At cada1.org/leadership camps. All right, before we go, fun questions. Bryan Speed, tell me your favorite CADA memory. It can be convention-oriented, camp-oriented, anything CADA-related. Favorite CADA memory.
So you're like putting me on the spot. There's so many great memories. I think my favorite CADA memory would probably be as a student. So CADA has dances when we're actually in person, and like the big thing was like no freaking at the dances. And that summer I was a part of the advanced council because I got to go a couple of years, and we put together like a skit where it was like no freak dancing, and like I like to dance in high school, like I was known for being a dancer. So I got to show my moves, but it was like in a no freaking kind of context. So it's like, oh, I'm going to start freak dancing. And then there's another student who's like, oh, no, we can't do that. We got to be good leaders. I don't know. That always brings back positive vibes and a good laugh.
Awesome. Melissa, how about you? Favorite CADA memory?
I would say like as a student, so corny. But we did Whitney Houston's Greatest Love of All, and we all sat in like a giant kumbaya circle. This was when it was still at Stanford. And we were given the words and we all sang it. I love a sing-along. I get so excited about a sing-along, like I just do. You do, right? And then like as an adult, when I get to direct in person, I always make the kids do a sing-along because of that moment in my youth. Like it just makes me so happy to have, like, even if nobody can sing, it doesn't matter. It's that unifying event where everyone's in it together. It just makes me so happy. So when I'm directing, I get the kids to do a sing-along.
No, now it all makes sense now. Every time I do a sing-along now, I understand why. All right, and then mixtape era, 80s and 90s music. So many fun tunes from the 80s and 90s. So many great concerts, bands. I know Speed, that's more retro for you. But any cool memories about 80s and 90s music that you want to share with the audience?
I'll share. So my sister's 8 years younger, and she used to love the Backstreet Boys. I was kind of a little old and too cool for that. So, but anyway, they went back on tour like a couple years ago, and she really wanted to go, and no one would go with her. So I went. And I'm going to tell you, like, as an activities director, our goal is to create like this energy and this fire and to get people excited. I've never been to a concert where there was more excitement. It was insane. Like the energy, like it was a bunch of 40-year-old women just like singing and screaming at the top of their lungs. But I was like, oh my God, this energy is like what you want every school to be like at your pep rally or whatever. It was just like the coolest thing. And I'm like, you know, I like Backstreet Boys, but not like there was ladies there that loved them. But just seeing that 90s continue, right?
You know, you're not the first person to mention Backstreet Boys as one of their favorite memories in the mixtape era. Just FYI, that's crazy. Speed, any cool memories music-wise?
I don't know. I just feel like 90s hip hop and R&B was like money. I know when my wife and I first started dating, like that's all we would listen to, 90s R&B. So like, oh, let's have a night and we're like baking cookies or something. It's just like 90s R&B. 90 R&B songs all throughout our wedding and stuff. So it just brings back good memories.
That is awesome. All right. Well, thank you both for joining us today. Be sure to visit the virtual exhibit hall and click on the CADA Camps booth. And we'll have some staff members in there periodically throughout the open exhibit hall times and answer all your questions. Thanks again, Speed and Melissa. Have a great one.